Yeah, it's fucking delicious. But what's ruby red? It's obviously affiliated with something, which I don't know what it is. What's that thing?
That looks like
Like anime or something?
anime like characters on it.
Someone will know.
Oh,
Anyway,
anyways, we started.
it was Saturday episode. That was a
Welcome to another episode of the Prep Coach podcast. We're just talking about monsters because I've just got my usual,
yeah.
the white one, the
You're a
white
plain
monster.
Jane man.
I'm a white monster. White.
Yeah,
I have a white or gold.
yeah
It's typical.
you're a standard kind of guy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What if you got pink, ruby, red? We're trying
Yeah.
to figure out what
Trying
it
to
is.
figure out what ruby red is. There's some looks like cartoon / anime characters on the side. So I was just asking you if you knew what it was, but
What are we going to do when we go to Bali?
no.
Because you can't, well, you can kind of get them, but they're super expensive and they're the small cans.
Yeah, we're just gonna have to.
Are you going to bring some?
I think I'm gonna bring like 2 or 3.
Yeah.
And have it as just like a treat on a day where we've trained hard as fuck that morning.
Yeah.
Maybe on the day when I do my lecture. Maybe
I was
I'll do it on
just
that day.
thinking
Yeah.
that I'm going to leave it for my lecture and maybe for the potty.
And then just one more somewhere. Just
Okay,
3.
so like
3 was my plan.
Three or 4.
Yeah.
Yeah. Are you going to check one suitcase or are you going to bring 2?
I can bring 3 if I
Oh,
want to.
you can bring 3.
But I'm gonna bring 2.
Yeah, I'm going to bring 2 as well.
Yeah. Only because I'm bringing all my subs this time. Like I'm bringing the tub of protein powder. I'm bringing more cream of rice. I'm bringing a full tub of EAAs because I told a few people that I was going to bring some. I'm bringing a full tub of
Okay.
I want to pack really well this.
It's good to know that you're bringing those because then I won't bring them.
Yeah, I'm gonna be loaded to the teeth.
Oh, sweet. Are you going to bring Altered State?
Yeah.
Okay, I won't bring mine then.
I'm also gonna bring
Creatine, of course.
like a couple of powder funnels for
Oh,
bottle.
yeah.
I want to
Okay, yeah, cool.
much more organized this time.
Yeah, okay. I'm going to bring 2 suitcases because I need to bring all the t-shirts.
Yeah, it's a good point.
The retreat t-shirts.
Yeah, it's a good point. And that weighs heaps, man.
Yeah, it's like going to be 30 t-shirts.
I mean, maybe this is just us logistically working out
sorry,
our trip on the
guys,
weekend.
sorry, podcast happening, but yeah.
Maybe we could take 3 between us. Anyway,
well,
I'm excited.
I am.
I did see a video this morning. I'm just gonna assume it was Timsy's video because it's the one that pops up on my story the most. But him and Jackson were sweeping water out of their.
Yeah, there must have been some bad weather there.
It's been raining a lot.
Wow.
But they were sweeping water out of their where they're staying. So.
Because at the moment there's a retreat before the retreat. There's
probably 50% of the retreat is already there, and they're all staying together in there.
Yeah, which is awesome.
They're just living it up.
I love seeing that.
It's grouse, man.
Absolutely love.
I saw a video of them last night, all jumping into they all came home from things at random times, and then everybody just fully clothed just jumped in the pool. It was gross.
Nice. And they've been training at same gym together, and
yeah, I think they've been in Canggu at undefeated. So,
that's awesome.
Yeah, so it'll be different because we're training in Seminyak at the new compound gym. So
yeah, I'm excited for that.
Different, and obviously you can see most of the stuff here is compound as well. So I'm looking forward to it, man.
Well, if you haven't noticed, everyone, Scotty's not here, and we're in MG's gym. But Scotty's had to. I think it was like the first school interview for Evie or something like that. So he had to.
They're going to sit him down and tell them how sassy she's been, bossing everyone around.
Yeah,
she's the best, man.
But yeah, so next potty will be
in Bali.
Over in Bali. All right. Do you want to get stuck into some? Actually, no. Do you want to give me an update on everything? Like we had Tali's birthday on the weekend, which was awesome.
Yes,
she is incredibly cute.
She's
well behaved.
She's a good girl,
and she's talking. She's making conversation.
She's full conversation, full chatterbox.
Yeah.
The whole week leading up to the party, she just was so excited for everybody to sing happy birthday to her. So she made me sing it to her all week long. Sometimes she'd cut me off and be like, that's enough, wait till Sunday. If she felt like she'd had her fix, but you've got the video. You took the video.
Yeah.
As soon as everybody starts singing, her eyes go as wide as the moon, right? Just as wide as you could imagine, and just watching everybody as they sing to her. And then she asked us to do it again, did she?
Did it twice.
Loved it so much, we did it twice.
One thing I noticed is I was standing next to your dad.
Yeah.
And he's very theatrical, just like you. And she was looking at him the most.
Yeah, because his eyes were probably the only persons who were wide.
True.
And my dad's a squinty guy, so that says a lot.
Yeah.
But
it was a great day.
She's beautiful, man. But I haven't told you this yet, but I had my appointment this morning, my follow-up appointment with the specialist around so I got my bloods back just around management of my haemochromatosis.
Yep.
Which most people know. If anybody doesn't know, it's a disease where your body does not rid itself of iron. So you just keep accumulating it. Similar side effects to very, very low iron in terms of some of the fatigue and nausea stuff. The only issue with high iron is if it stays in your body, it ends up depositing itself.
Yeah.
Typically in organs and joints. So it needs to be managed for that reason. Above and beyond the symptoms of just, the heavy fatigue. But recently my bloods have been, I would say, suboptimal from a liver function perspective because my iron's been so high.
Okay.
So because I weight train heavily, which causes inflammation, that sort of stuff, and my iron is so high, my liver's working super hard. I've had some super high AST and ALT scores.
Okay.
Nearly triple probably what the normal range is. So like, 70s, 80s.
Wow. Okay.
And my ferritin, which is your iron, normal range is 30 to 200. I've been as high as 1250. My average would be 6 to 900. This morning was 111.
Oh, so all the way down.
First time it's been in range in 10 years.
Wow.
My AST was 37.
That's good.
And my ALT was 42, which
it's
both
on the high end of the range, but it's good.
But they were 80 and 90, so it's...
Wow.
So
So
my blood sugar average was lower than normal. So which is like the opposite of diabetes, is maybe like maybe something with the pancreas. I'm not sure, but the specialist said it's very rare that somebody's blood sugar average, not levels at time, but average sits below the normal range, which would be the opposite of somebody who was moving towards diabetes.
So is creatine the magical thing? No.
You know what? I didn't even think about that at the time, but that's a good point. But man, it's for me, honestly, I haven't had bloods that good for it feels like forever. So I look at the lifestyle factors that have changed since they were the worst. A lot more sleep, not as much travel. Trying to remove and manage some of the life's major stresses better, but huge improvements. As I said, I haven't been in the normal range for iron for 10 years, man.
So, but nothing else changed from like a medication perspective or anything?
Man, I started taking more medication not related to iron, so like my my ADHD medication changed, which actually went up. If anything, medication was more.
Wow.
Which is why I was shit scared to get those results today.
So it sounds like mostly lifestyle factors.
Yeah.
We could say creatine, but we're
going to say creatine.
We're going to say creatine.
Yeah. I mean, I think anyone who, is in the journey of bodybuilding has probably had their coach tell them about sleep over and over and over again. I think I would say the number one factor has to be sleep, because it was heavily affected towards the end of last year for obvious reasons, work, all that sort of stuff. So I think that was probably the biggest one.
You're getting sick a lot towards the end of the season.
Non-stop.
I know. Yeah.
With things that you just like one thing after the other. Things I've never had, obviously the eyes, the ears, like it was just non-stop. So my body was definitely screaming. It's easy for you to go to a healthcare professional and they say, you need to manage stress. Sometimes it's situational. You're in a work environment that you're kind of fixed in that position. Maybe there's things going on with your family. You might have illnesses. It's not always manageable. So I think the number one focus should always be sleep. Because if you sleep well, your ability to deal with those will be better. I think where I was affected was not only with sleep shit, I was then struggling to deal with those things because I was underslept.
Yeah.
And you don't realize how much you needed to catch up on sleep until you catch up on it. Because you adjust, we adapt, and everything just starts to feel normal. And tired becomes normal.
Yeah. I'm just thinking back to coaching. Like, that's the hardest thing to coach someone on is if they've got life and work stress. Can't tell them to quit their job.
For sure. Like, got a sick family member.
What do you do? Like, all I can do is pull the levers I have control in. Well, I can, I control, but I manage and I can adjust. And all I can say is sleep, maybe reduce intensity in the gym, maybe drop a day, maybe do a recovery modality. There's maybe give them more food because more food's going to help with more recovery. But sometimes you just have stresses that you can't control. And as a coach, don't feel bad that you can't help them in any way because there's nothing that you can do.
Yeah. Sometimes, and which is why I go reasonably deep in terms of like relationship and into some of the details with my athletes in check-in, because one of the things that I feel really does help is sometimes just sharing it with someone. You can see that the stress almost instantly goes down. It's not a fix, but it definitely helps for a lot of people. So I think with the right athlete, knowing who to take a bit more on for them is important. Certainly, I pretty much bottle everything up most of the time. Most of us do, right? We're pretty good at it. But every now and then, there's an instance where I might need to talk to you or talk to somebody. And I know that in that instance, I tend to get a little bit of that emotional relief. It's like, wow, somebody else knows now. Nothing else has changed, but God, I feel a little bit better. So I think, that's part of the art of coaching, is just knowing when to take a bit more and when to acknowledge it, maybe give them some low-hanging fruit advice, and then just try and keep encouraging them to push on.
It's hard to tell a client to tell me what's your problems, put it on me, but sometimes I might feel comfortable. Maybe it's oversharing a little bit. So I give them the advice is make sure you're speaking to your loved ones, make sure you're speaking to your support system, family and friends, and maybe be a little bit selfish as well. Put some time aside for you to go and do something that you enjoy, whether it's even something to switch off. Go get a massage, go do a beauty therapy, go spend time with your friend or whoever that may be, to switch off a little bit and to decompress, to take you outside of the environment that is giving you some stress.
Without a doubt. I've also never had any issues at all suggesting to an athlete that I think would benefit from speaking to a professional to do so. And maybe that's because, I've used psychologists myself many times over the years and I see the benefit in them. So it's easy for me to say that. But I think maybe sometimes, professional intervention is needed, and maybe it's not suggested because maybe you don't want to offend somebody. Or have you had to suggest, that to bring a professional?
I have. I wouldn't say it's common, but I have. The thing is, I've never done it myself. So I guess if I had walked that walk, I could probably talk the talk a little bit more. For instance, like I've been through preps before. I've been through, I live the bodybuilding lifestyle. So for me to recommend things, it's easy.
100%.
But that's something that I haven't done before. So for me to recommend it, I don't really know much about it. It's almost like saying for me to train an enhanced athlete. Like I don't have experience in it, right? But it's probably something that I need to explore a little bit more. Maybe even me do some trial on myself.
Yeah, you know what the biggest thing for me is, again, just because they're a professional doesn't mean that they have the solution to your problem. But what they enable you to do sometimes is be able to look at something objectively, rephrase it into a way that you can actually work with it, not ignore it, be able to actually process the emotions that you're feeling through it, and give you some strategies when it starts to get a little bit too much. Which sounds very similar to what you might do as a bodybuilding coach when it's based on a physical outcome.
Correct, yeah.
Do a program. Program deloads when they're needed.
Sure.
Use intensifiers if it's like a similar style, really training for your brain. It's just like allowing yourself the relief when you need it. And I just think it's underutilized.
Do you want to share any of your experiences or maybe any tools that you've learned that were useful?
Yeah, so one of the things that I absolutely regret is waiting so damn long to do something about it. So when I was in high school, I started to develop a little bit of mild anxiety around certain social situations, which was around the age of 16. And as I sort of moved into full-time work, and it just progressively from sort of 16 to 24 got worse and worse, to the point, I reckon somewhere in my early 20s, I was probably having 20 to 30 crazy panic attacks a day. A day.
What's a panic attack? What was happening?
So close up throat, heart racing a million miles per hour. I feel like you can't breathe, lightheaded. Feeling like, oh my God, everyone's noticing it. And it just starts to steamroll.
Okay, wow.
So it took me 6 years to do something about it, go and see somebody and be like, shit, I don't see myself getting on top of this now without help. Maybe at that age, 16, 18, you kind of have this mentality as it'll just go away, or I didn't have the responsibilities. So didn't affect me as bad. The more responsibilities I got as I started to get a job that was more meaningful, partner, all of a sudden it started to get worse and worse. And it was that made you realize I probably can't sustain this. I also now need to get some assistance. And as soon as I started getting some assistance, both through things like, talking to a psychologist, as well as I went down the medication path, 6 years of like daily torture was almost over in 2 weeks.
Really?
Yeah. So that's my regret.
That's quick. That's quick.
Yeah. I did use those two things together. So, I always had this thing about, I don't want to take medication. I'm sure people out there who do take it have thought the same, and others who are thinking about it have thought the same. I just didn't want to take medication because I felt like once I do that, what if it doesn't fix it? It's like in my brain, I've tried everything, and that's...
See, I'd think the opposite.
Yeah, so now I would too.
Yeah,
but then that's
what if I take this and I need to take it forever?
Correct.
Because that's the way my mind works.
So now my answer to that would be, and you never have them again, but you have to take it forever.
It's worth it.
It's still a big win.
Yeah.
But as an 18-year-old, it's hard to process that. So, I wish that 18-year-old version of MG maybe didn't have to pretend like everything was all right every single day in a professional setting. I was working at a bank. You wouldn't have known. You become a master of disguise of hiding these panic attacks. Like little cues, distraction, removing yourself from the situation. Like if you're panicking really badly, you might start to do something where you might pinch at your skin or do something to distract the panic because that is now the feeling that I'm getting, which is not the way to deal with it. But it's what when you don't when you don't seek help, you find your own ways to deal with these things. So and that's why I've openly spoken to lots of athletes over the years about struggles and things. And you'd be surprised that you wouldn't be surprised because I'm sure you coach a lot as to just how many people have had some form of a struggle or a battle. Nobody really talks about it. Probably half the people that you associate with are probably either going through something or have had something like that happen. My piece of advice to everybody is don't sit around and wait for it to sort itself out. Most of the time these things don't. There is ways to get help out there, and if the first one doesn't work, there's so many other options. But if you don't do anything about it, it's probably not just going to exit on its own.
What's the first step if someone does want help? Is it go to a GP? Is there an online service? Like what do they do? So
the first thing that I did was went to my doctor. The good thing about kind of the healthcare system nowadays is you get what's called a plan where you kind of get like, I don't know if it's 6, 8 or 10 appointments with a psychologist, which would normally cost quite a bit as free, just to assist.
Through Medicare?
Yeah. Which is quite useful. So that's where I started. I started at a GP. But again, I would still be doing what you said earlier in check-ins, somebody that you trust, talking to loved ones. I just think that if nobody knows, the burden weighs so heavy. Whereas as you start to share it, one of the strategies back then, which I don't have to do anymore, which would be funny if I opened up a show and as an MC and I did this, but was one of the ways to kind of really help me through was the more people in the room that knew what I was going through, the less anxiety I had because it was like, they all know it's fine.
So if you haven't shown, hey,
ladies and gentlemen, welcome to NBA Melbourne Titles. I have panic attacks. So if I look freaked out on the stage, please don't worry, everything's going to be like...
I reckon everyone would love that.
Probably, because you know what? There'd probably be some athletes backstage who'll be like, oh, thank God, MG. Me too.
Yeah.
Which, again, I'm more than happy to share this stuff because, man, having been through it and remembering what it was like back then, if there's someone out there who goes, oh, okay, I'm not alone, or there are ways to help, you can reach out to me anytime. But it's important, I think, for people to see that sometimes people are struggling and on the surface they might not be showing it. And I think sometimes if you look at what bodybuilding is and prep is, I think sometimes it can draw that in as well because it can fill a void.
Yep. Yeah, definitely can.
All right. Because the busyness, the food, the training, the cardio, the tracking, the busy. And for a lot of people, that distraction gives them quite a lot of relief.
It's funny you talk about that because there's a question that we're going to lead to in a second that's similar to that context. But before I move on to that question, because that was going to be my first one, it's funny we're talking about this. What was a tool that someone gave you to use that helped you? Now, I know you've told me one of them, and one of them was to get something done straight away off your list, like was to clear it first. But is there anything else? Or maybe you want to expand on that one?
Yeah, so probably the two biggest things for me was a lot of the stresses and anxieties were coming from things that needed to be completed but couldn't be done. So in order to reduce that, even though it might not have been that was causing me an anxiety, completing a task always seemed to produce a little bit of relief. But the biggest thing was always removal from the situation and using just some really simple breathing techniques to just kind of reset that, that panic path that you're on. So back then I was working at the bank. I was actually a teller, so it was really hard to
remove yourself,
to remove myself. So I became the master of, if needed, going to the printer and just sitting beside where the back of the ATM was, and just 5 seconds in, 2 second hold, 5 seconds out. Do that for a minute.
So like box breathing.
Yep.
Yep.
Just slow your heart rate down, close your eyes, distract yourself through breathing, and that kind of resets. You're able to walk back out and start again. That's probably the most useful thing. Sometimes you do need to remove yourself in order to overcome it. Yeah. Because I've tried to battle panic attacks in the early days in the situation. I was in meetings, I feel like I'm dying, and I'm still communicating and answering questions, and I'm like, can
anyone tell? Maybe, don't know.
Maybe that was part of the fear. I was like, I wonder if they know. But that's where letting more people know helped actually to ease that.
Yeah. Okay.
It's like, if the team that I work with, if they know, and it definitely helped a lot.
It'd be interesting if you're in a meeting, you're like, sorry guys, I'm just having a panic attack right now. Don't draw any attention to it because it's only going to make it worse. But let's just keep going.
But you know what? In essence, if that had happened, I was like, sorry guys, just having a little bit of a panic attack. I'll just be a moment, and then they just continue on with whatever they were doing.
Sure.
Maybe it would have been sort of quicker. But yeah, it's a terrible thing to go through. There's no logic behind why it happens. It can come on at any time. Like back then, the fear of something going wrong with your health because of the panic attacks. I was getting bloods done every 2 weeks just to ease my mind that I wasn't. Wow. And then around that early 20s mark, when I finally got some assistance, and as I said, I did work with a psychologist for a long time, and I went down the medication path, I really never had it rear its head again.
Yeah, well.
There's certainly some moments, but it's been so long now that I'm just able to deal with them.
That's cool. That's a cool experience that you've had. I know we've gone down a different path in this potty, but I think it's all...
Well, you got to think that's the same guy now who can stand in front of 800 people all day on a microphone and...
I know.
Right? So... I know. Again, if you're somebody who has had some struggles and feel like, that you're going to be stuck in this forever, I promise you, no joke, was having 20 to 30 a day, which a minute per... Like, I was spending 2 or 3 hours a day in panic, to now being able to stand in front of 800 people for 12, 13 hours straight talking.
Yeah, well,
it's a long way away from that.
You know what's funny? This is how my mind's a little bit different. If I know I've got to stand in front of that many people, or do some public speaking or something like that, and I've already, locked it in that I need to do it, what I say to myself is, time's going to pass and it's going to happen. Like, it's going to happen.
Absolutely.
So just get over it.
Yeah, you've committed to it.
And know it's going to happen. That's how I just get, that's how I get through it. Just like, time's going to pass. It's going to happen. So get over it.
Yeah. Try and enjoy it.
It's going to happen.
Yeah. It's one of those things. I think for me, my integration into like stepping outside my comfort zone with that sort of stuff, which was always like some examples that come to mind. Like if I went to a footy game, I'd have to sit on the last seat.
So you can exit, or okay.
Yeah, I need to be able to get in and get out really, really quickly.
But that's funny because in a plane, you like to sit in the window.
Again, long way away from that, right? Long way away from that. Like it's almost like a protection mechanism when you're in that state to be able to, like, I'd walk into a movie and know where all the exits are. Like,
okay, yeah,
because your brains just go, like, it's in that protection mode. It's like fight or flight, but it's the fight bit. So it's
because you're thinking if something happens
Correct.
and I need to get out to gather myself, I
Yeah.
need to know how to get out and get out quick.
Definitely.
Yeah, makes sense.
So one of the, the integrations back into that was making sure that if I was doing something at work or, was saying a speech at it, was that I was so prepared that even under pressure, my baseline would just be perfect because
to keep going.
And eventually that helps me to not need to prepare anymore and not need to feel the nerves and the anxiety, was just through practice.
Yeah. Love it.
So
that's cool.
But I might open up something with a, hey, welcome to, if anybody in the room has a panic attack today, just put your hand up. I'm going to come over and give you a big hug.
Yeah. And all the athletes put their hand up.
So, but yeah, it'd be interesting to see what sort of feedback I get from this, people sending me messages about maybe their experiences, because it can be soul consuming. Yeah, the fear of like almost not wanting to go anywhere because what if it happens?
Yeah.
And I was in that spot for a while.
Yeah.
It's like, I'm going to be a homebody forever.
We've come a long way.
I know, right?
A long freaking way. Far out.
So,
all right.
But yeah, so what, someone sent a question?
Yeah. So let me have a look. Where is it? It's down here.
I was talking about sometimes having a passion or a hobby that's so intense that it can kind of distract you enough to like fill a void or...
Yeah, so what are the red flags that someone is using prep to run away from life's problems, breakups, job stress, etc.? Similar thing.
Yeah.
What are some of the red flags that you notice? For me, if I'm already coaching someone and you had already had a conversation to plan that, hey, comp's going to happen next year, etc., and then they go through a breakup, they're like, oh, can we compete now? That's complete straight red flag for me straight away.
Yeah. I think timing's everything.
Yeah.
And the urgency of someone wanting to do a prep is always pretty high up in the piece of like whether you think it's going to work or not. Like you said, if somebody's really rushing into it, or if you're not coaching them and they're coming to you for a consult and it's like, I have to prep, I have to do season, I have to do it. You'll probably find after a little bit of investigation through some open-ended questions as a coach that there's probably a motivator that is super high now, but maybe won't be in 6, 8, 12 weeks. Revenge is a big one, right? We've seen it before.
Of course we have.
I mean, it can drive a lot of people to do, something as extreme as a bodybuilding competition early.
Yeah.
But, I've heard you say this once before, 16 weeks from now when you've gotten over your ex and you're starving and all your friends are out on a Friday night drinking and you're home alone, is it enough then?
Enough motivation
when you're that deep in the trenches? Like it's just not the right why.
Yeah.
And I think anything, as a motivator that isn't on the athlete doing the prep, getting something really great out of it for themselves, not just to show or to prove to somebody else, they're definitely the biggest ones.
Yeah. Could you do your comp and do your prep and never post about it on social media and get no photos?
I could.
I could too.
Yeah.
But if someone's like, nah, the reason why I want to do the prep is because I want to expand my business and I want everyone to see it, or I want my ex to see all my sexy photos, I'll be like, red flag right there.
Yeah, that's definitely one. I think, away from that side of it, things like potentially wanting to just do it because you might have an injury that you might not be able to do it again. So you're like, this is my last chance. And again, probably still not the right, because you're going to break down more.
Also too is age. Some athletes think I'm getting old. If I wait another year, I'm going to be too old.
Yeah.
So I've had that too, where they're kind of in a rush because they think that they're going to run out of time.
Yeah. I mean, that's super common.
Yeah.
And I think, I just look at 3 or 4 of my athletes right now, that are between 45 and 60, females who are growing like absolute weeds still. I can give some really clear examples like an Ingrid or say a Giselle. Like they are still absolutely growing rapidly because the effort and the intensity is there. So,
yeah.
But that might be somebody who's just misinformed, maybe doesn't know that it
takes that long, that there's planning that's involved. You've got to go through a process even before you start a prep. Yeah, it could be that too.
Yeah. What about like red flags having come from another coach? You're having a consult with someone and they're like, oh, they really, really want to prep right now. Really, really want to prep right now. They've been with another coach. you know that this coach has had decent athletes on stage before.
Yeah.
Are you wondering, well, why didn't that coach prep you? What sort of investigative work are you doing in that instance? Like, let's just say it's somebody that's uses reasonable methodology and has pro athletes and
Yeah. It's hard because I don't know the ins and outs of every
sure.
coach, right?
For sure.
If it was from you and Scotty,
sure.
I'd be like, cool,
Yeah.
man, I could chuck him on stage next week because I know everything up until now is probably the best it can be,
Yeah.
right? So, but sometimes you just never know because you've been the same. I've had people come from coaches that are well known and respected, and they're not in a great position.
For sure.
And you thought they would have been in a better position. And I kind of feel sorry for those athletes too, because with me, it's almost like, I'm sorry, not that all the work you've done prior to starting with me hasn't been worth it, but it's kind of like you need to kind of start fresh with me.
Oh, yeah.
Like I need to build you back up to a position where I'm confident that I can produce the result that you want on stage. So sometimes when they change over to me or to another coach, it kind of puts them back a little bit. They thought they were going to compete at the end of the year, but you're like, I actually need...
Yeah, because you're doing the right thing. Because ultimately, if you continue it, in the most case, you're probably just as bad, or
Yeah.
It's not right. As soon as internally as a coach, you're having a chat with an athlete for the first time who wants to do a show that you're already questioning whether it's right or not,
Yes.
you probably already know the answer.
Yeah.
Like, it's so easy to know, when somebody should compete, if they're ready to compete, and what's too soon. If you're a coach and you're like, "Fuck, it's pretty close." Like, if it's a close, not to say you can't do a close show with a new athlete, because you can, because sometimes everything is where it needs to be. Maybe they were with a coach, they've just had a long break, they haven't been coached by anybody,
Yeah.
but they've still been maintaining themselves in a really good way. Calories have been high. They haven't gone crazy in composition. They know roughly what they've been eating.
Yeah.
Sometimes it is fine, but if there's something inside you as a coach that goes, probably need a bit longer.
Yeah.
You probably need a bit longer.
Yeah. Oh, and I've had those conversations. Actually, I've had one recently with someone that I said, we've got to reach this milestone. They missed it. Got to reach this milestone. And they missed it. And they just kept missing it and missing it. And I'm like, it's not possible. We can't do that season now. Like, it's not in your best interest to do it.
But
it's not going to be successful. Like, yes,
it's going to follow the same pattern as what happens.
You might have the time to prep to lose that weight, and I can do the rate of loss, and you'll get there based on the plan and the time we're allowing. But your metabolism and your habits aren't going to get you there.
Correct.
So for me,
and if you haven't been able to prove that over a 6-week period, how are you going to prove it over a 28-week period?
Correct. So I've had those conversations like it can't be done, and sometimes I've lost athletes.
Yeah, I get that.
But I'm not gonna drop my standards. I'm not gonna drop my standards and do the wrong thing by someone. I'm just not gonna do it.
Because it also reflects on you. But that's why you have the roster that you have, and that's why you have the results that you have. Some of the hardest conversations I've had, and credit to these athletes for the way that they've taken it, but prior to having it, is stopping someone's season early, who was going to do 4 shows after the second, because actually we need to improve more than we thought. Let's call it and get straight into improvement season.
Yeah. Yeah.
I've got someone who's doing the IFBB this year in the natural show in Fit Model, who competed ICN and NBA a couple of years ago. She's a mum. We pulled her season short, and she took it like an absolute trooper, and she's just been in the fucking trenches. This is true stuff. So she's been in the trenches, man, just going about her business. She lives ages away. She's been in the army in that time as well. Just quiet. You've probably seen no posts from her, no stories.
She's awesome. Yeah.
She's just been working her ass off, and it is such an improvement on what she's produced. Again, that doesn't guarantee her results, but that side by side is going to be night and day. And I think sometimes being able to take that feedback on and being like, okay, I'm actually not doing the shows I thought because doing them isn't going to yield me anything greater. That extra 5 weeks, I'm better off starting to grow now.
Yeah.
So I think as an athlete, that's part of being coachable, is being able to take advice on board, even when it's not necessarily the advice that you had wanted or in line with an original plan, but you need to be able to pivot and adapt. And I think athletes like that, that is what I consider like a pro mindset.
Yeah. Yeah. I feel sorry for those athletes that they've come to a coach like us who will stick to their guns and only do the right thing by them. and they'll say, okay, cool, I'll go find someone else. And then someone on will take them and just do whatever they want. Just be a yes person. Be like, yeah, you want to jump on stage in 6 weeks? Done. No problem. Let's do it. And then just destroy them.
Yeah, and most of those coaches probably haven't got a periodized plan, probably haven't got a pathway to that stage for what that prep will be.
They're more about just the numbers and the, what do you call it? Bums on seats when, that's the normal thing.
I think if you've been doing it for a long time, you know how long things take.
Yeah.
So if your systems are good, you probably don't have anyone getting to stage in a quick amount of time.
No.
Because you know what the trade-off is if you do that.
Yep.
And you just don't, it's just not worth the risk. Like, not just to put somebody else on stage.
Yep.
And I think when you're talking about females, it's even more important.
Yeah, I agree.
When you think about hormone health and, the risks per se, I think it's even more detrimental.
I think also too, in general, just generalizing, but females put a little bit more pressure on themselves than males do.
Definitely.
Yeah.
I think
from a body image perspective,
I think
as well.
that's a fair assessment based on my 10 years, coaching females in the same way. I'd say that's a very fair assessment. They're also, I look at, we've had this chat and I've said this on air before. I look at some of my, females, some of my, mum clients and what they're able to fit into a 24-hour period while still putting shitloads of pressure on themselves. Sometimes is mind blowing.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree.
And, now having been on the other side of, the parenthood and seeing, how much it can take, the level of respect just went through the roof.
Yeah.
So
it's funny you bring this up, because then literally the next question here is, where's the line between committing, where an athlete is being committed, or are they being selfish with their time and their energy? So, like, because you're referring to females, probably referring to mums as well. There's a point of being committed and ticking boxes and getting everything done, but also is there a point where you're over committing in a sense, so you're being a little bit too selfish, too self-centered with your time, and you're destroying relationships around you.
Yeah.
Whether that with a partner, if you have no kids, or whether if you have kids.
Look at Scotty's, not the last prep. Look at Scotty's COVID prep.
Yeah.
Again, Scotty's a male, obviously, but 40 weeks inside out for a lot of it. Did not miss a single thing relating to his kids, to Jen. Like, you can still be a great elite level athlete and a great partner, parent. It's all around timing. It's all around scheduling. It's structure. Like, you're just going to fall into your systems. If your systems are good and solid, it's fine. I don't see getting peeled having a greater benefit to having a really wholesome home life, but you can do both.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Make time for your partner. Schedule things in, again, training when the kids are asleep or when your partner is like, it's just being wise and forward planning and thinking about it.
Yeah. We've
coached hundreds and hundreds of athletes in really difficult logistical situations who have still managed to keep the home happy.
Yeah.
Now, if you don't have that support from your partner, that's a different conversation, because that's as tough as it gets.
That's very tough.
And we could probably do a whole episode on that, honestly, because I've seen some very, very difficult situations with partners over the years. Some that break your heart, like, because you're like, just fucking support them. Like,
it's so hard too when you don't know what the relationship was like beforehand. And if the relationship was always skewed one way and now the needle has shifted a little bit towards the other way.
That's the worst. That's when it's the worst.
Sometimes the partner will be like, what's going on here?
Yeah. Yeah. And a lot of the time that'll come from someone who, say it's most common with first timers, when they've done a first comp, their bodies change from looking like this to this. They've got friends in the gym. They're meeting up with, girls for their female friends for posing lessons, in heels. And they're like, whoa, all of a sudden you didn't used to do anything. And now you're doing all these things because people actually want to be around you now.
Yeah.
And if you've always been, someone that likes to see that person not do a lot because it makes you feel good, and now they're doing a lot,
and the attention's on you,
it's gonna suck real hard. You're gonna start to feel insecurities. If there are insecurities, they'll come out in that moment.
Yeah. But I would say this, that in any long-term relationship, there's going to be periods where someone gives a little bit more than the other.
For sure.
And someone else gives a little bit more. So like it's never 50-50, right?
What
Sometimes
should
it's
it be?
60-40, depending
Without a
on the
doubt.
day. Like you might come home from a stressful day and maybe you need to verbalize it, you don't, or maybe Mev can see it, but she might know that you're not running at 100%. You're probably only running at about 60, and she needs to give the other 40.
Man, absolutely, without even having to say anything.
Yeah,
She's got me.
yeah,
And then, you know, the other side of that is, you know, look at what we do for work. We're away, we travel a lot. You know, never once has there been anything around, you know, any insecurity towards being around other people, or because, you know, the foundation's strong, man.
yeah,
The foundation is strong. But when it's not, it can be really, really, really difficult. I've seen some females competitors go through some really difficult preps with male partners
yeah,
who don't really embrace the fitness lifestyle. And even with someone who absolutely embraces the fitness lifestyle, but just saw them start to really come to life and believe in themselves and look different and start to get a lot of attention, which then caused a lot of
insecurities.
yeah, a lot of jealousy and aggressive insecurity issues.
Yeah, wow.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's tough.
so that almost not only ended the relationship, but and the prep both.
Yeah, wow. I know there's also another end of the spectrum, and I know I was like this. Sometimes I wouldn't prep, and I didn't prep for what was it, 11 years between my first show and the most
And your
recent
first prep was just salad bowls the size of this couch
Yeah.
with tuna in them.
Yeah, and
5 meals a day.
and there was no coach. It was articles on bodybuilding.
5 meals a day. That's it.
Anyways,
Posing in
but-
your nonna's kitchen. That's
exactly right. But the reason why I didn't prep for so long between those two seasons, those two shows, is because I didn't want to be selfish. Like I was like, I don't know if I can shift all this focus on me
yeah.
for me to
And
have to
cut
spend,
everything off.
and spend time and energy on myself.
Yeah.
Because at that time I was working, I was in a relationship, I had to earn money to pay a loan, etc., etc. And I'm not the personality type to be self-centered or to be selfish. So for me to do something for myself was really difficult. So that's the one thing I want to put through to the people here is sometimes you need to be selfish
Without a doubt.
so you can do things for yourself. Otherwise, you will create resentment for those things and people around you that you think are holding you back, but they're not.
So then this is full circle here. So let's go back to that first question. Is this person that's running away, is it being asked by somebody who is watching somebody who's doing something for themselves and then feeling insecure? Or are there genuinely signs of some red flags? Like, again,
Yeah, what's the line between being a committed athlete or being selfish?
yeah,
What's the line? I think that for me, from an execution perspective, you need to execute the minimum to get the progress to continue in the rate that you want to continue. If you're doing too much in a sense that it's now hindering your relationship, your ability to spend time with family and friends, then that's, as a coach, I'd be like, you don't need to go that far.
Yeah.
So like, for instance, I'm just going to bring up an example. I don't even think about it, but say for instance, they always have their meal number 4 at 5 o'clock, but their partner asks them, can they have it at 6 o'clock so they can eat together? If the athlete said, nah, 5 o'clock, you miss out. No time with me. No eating together. 1 hour, I can't wait.
it's too much.
I'll be like, that's too much.
It's too much.
That's being selfish. Just wait 1 more hour. Like, it's not a big deal. Like, it's not going to change the way you look. And does that make sense? So
Absolutely.
I think there is a line. There is a line between being committed and getting things done or being way too selfish where you think everything needs to revolve around you.
Yeah. And I think a key part to it is what expectation was set at the start. Because if you didn't explain anything, then that's probably not a good way of dealing with it. If you set everything up front and you had the support, and then when it actually started to unfold exactly as you said, you didn't get the support, I don't think that's the athlete's fault. I don't think that's selfish.
Yeah.
But if you didn't outlay what was about to happen in this prep to your partner or to your family, for example, of course it's going to feel like a shock. And then it's going to feel selfish.
Yeah. I think also too, you need to relay this back to your coach, because then your coach can tell you, okay, that's a bit too much. You don't need to do it that way. Or let's adjust this other day so you can spend that time with that person on that day.
Yeah. And just to get like, your example is great. I've got an athlete who's like a pro in multiple federations, amazing female athlete, who will message me like, "Hey, just want to know, I'm in off season. She's in off season. My partner's back from work, who travels a lot, fly in, fly out. Are we able to go and eat at this place on the weekend? I was supposed to have this meal instead." So like, even top level athletes, are still unsure whether it's okay to make adjustments and things like that. So it's okay to ask.
Yeah, I think it's okay to ask. And also too is, if you ask, you're probably going to, if it's a reasonable coach and knows what it takes to continue to move the needle and what matters and what really doesn't, and they can see both perspectives, they'll be like, just go and enjoy time with your partner.
Sure. And if they think the risk is, the trade-off's not worth it because you're in prep, they'll tell you.
They'll tell you too. They'll tell you.
Simple.
Yep.
So,
if someone is on the fence about doing season B versus waiting until season C, 2027, how do you walk them through that decision? So the way I read it is choosing between two seasons.
Yeah. So I really do love the B to C sort of gap, purely because it's so small. There's a lot of good shows in that middle year now, especially with the IFBB natties as well, that for me, I've kind of been having everybody do B and then take a little break and continue to C, because there's so many shows in C.
Yeah.
So there's the trade-off. C's got so many shows, so many more potentials to earn pro cards, international shows in C.
Yeah.
So a really good roster of opportunities that you could compete at. B also has, some positives, which is smaller shows, still opportunities to earn pro cards now, and the IFBB NPC Natty show, which, kind of falls right in the middle there. So depending on what category you were, because if you are looking at doing, say, NPC as a female, there isn't all the same as there is in the Australian natural feds. But, if you're a men's physique guy, why would you not do that show, take a little break, and then dig really hard and then really try and bring it home for that pro card in season C, and maybe do an international show? I think everybody should do an international show. It's easy for me to sit here and say that, having run a handful of them now, because they're so amazing.
Yeah.
The vibe, the energy, even just being around 40 other competitors in a different country. It's beautiful outside. You're all staying at a hotel and you're all active, competitive bodybuilders.
Yeah, it's cool.
It's pretty damn special. So, and the fact that pro cards are on the line as well, it's definitely worth doing. So you just got to look at, like, what are you trying to get out of it? If doing a show 8 or 9 weeks before a big show doesn't suit your plan, then there is no point for me to do winter. If that extra 8 or 9 weeks to the end of season C, you can do a lot of damage, like, as in both ways, actually. You can look a lot better, but it's a lot longer to diet too. So you just have to work out what's the objective and which timeline is going to suit you best. You can do both, but if you're somebody who typically just needs more time and, you didn't start prep early enough, doing the mid-year probably isn't going to be the best option for you.
Yeah, when you think about it, if you need more time improving, then waiting a little bit longer is only going to do you better. So therefore, you'd stick
on
do season
across everything.
Yeah,
metabolically,
everything. So you do C instead of B, because B's earlier, of course, it gives you more time to prep. But you're right. If you're looking to do an international show, but you also want to do, say, NPC naturals, you might have to pick and choose, because mid-year to the international shows in season C are so late.
Yeah.
So there is a lot of time between the mid-year shows and the end of season C.
Yeah. I'll give an example of one athlete where getting the balancing act is really difficult, just because of their physique and what's available to them in NPC. So if you look at Chloe Wilson, who's a fitness pro for NBA.
Okay.
Now, in the NPC show, we're doing bikini, right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So because of the look for a pro fitness at NBA and NPC bikini, you don't want to be anywhere near as lean.
No.
That gap
is okay.
Kind of makes sense, right? It's kind of get halfway through her prep, do that show. She'll probably be almost where the condition needs to be. And if we wanted to, that gives us 9 more weeks to then,
push that.
Be absolutely inside out, straight to the works, which wouldn't work for the NPC show. So sometimes, because of the difference in categories, the timeline actually works.
Yeah.
So that's one example of how we're using it. And of course, the perfect look for NPC bikini and her in a pro fitness lineup are very,
Very,
very
very
different.
different. Yeah.
And, you know, she gets really shredded.
I was just about to say,
Like-
I remember her seeing her in Bali because she did Bali,
Yeah, like
and she was
as veiny as me. Like
she was diced.
yeah, she
absolutely
gets super diced. So like
Yeah.
if we presented that at MPC,
Yeah,
we'd miss the mark by a mile.
no, quite more.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
100%. These are all good. How do you handle guilt when you feel like bodybuilding is taking time away from your kids and partner? Because we've already kind of covered this a little bit.
yeah, I think going back to what I said earlier about just if it is taking away time, and it will take away time, you need to be more proactive at pre-organizing things so people know when they get you.
Yeah,
It's like, yeah, you know what, you've had a really big week this week.
Yeah.
You've had to do 3 extra cardios, but I know Sunday we're doing that thing. So it's like,
Yeah.
but if there's nothing organized, it starts to feel like you don't care, and all you care about is the prep.
Yeah.
But if even just having 1 or 2 activities planned over the next month with them, they know they're getting it. It makes such a difference, man.
Yeah. This might be a really, really naive comment because I don't have kids, right? But if your child is little, right, like a baby, and you need to sleep or you've got work to do or whatever that is, and you delay going home until they're asleep so that you can do what you need to do and get to sleep, is that as bad as if you did that and the child was older and they remember who you are and they're wondering where you are?
Man, I do that just to not disturb Talia now. Like, I don't want to walk in right as me putting her down.
Sure.
So sometimes I'll do an extra 20, 30 minutes because it's...
Yeah, because I think to myself, and again, I don't have kids, so it could be a naive comment, but my child's not going to remember if I was home late
For sure.
today versus home late tomorrow, but maybe someone that's a child that's 5, 6, 7 years old, they're going to be like, where's dad?
For sure.
I haven't seen dad for 2 days. Where is he?
Yeah, I think you're spot on there. I think it would be naive to think that your child will want to use that pan and spatula you got. I think that's fucking naive. I think that deserves an upgrade, but...
I've got to go home and protect it. Make sure
So good. I'm gonna get that thing. I'm gonna set it. I'm gonna hijack it, steal it, and start doing a series on Instagram where I'm like, he's got to try and get it back off me.
hide the spatula.
I'll bring it to every show.
Use that as the mic.
Use it as the mic. Tell everyone I'm having a panic attack.
What's the best way to tell your coach you're not coping with the level of structure without sounding like you're making excuses?
Just be honest.
I think just be honest.
You have to.
Yeah.
Because at least then we can sit down and have a look. Is there an alternate way to do what we need to do on a different structure?
Yeah.
And if there's not, like, there's no point continuing down that path if it's not optimal. You either want to do it right or not do it at all. And there may be an alternate way. I'll give you a small example. So, like, working with Lukey, he's PTCA, he's got a landscaping business, he's got 2 teenage girls. We had to really juggle training days across the prep, where sometimes we had to do an extra training day and sometimes things were too busy. We actually had to pull a training day back, but we made the other days bigger. We still got the volume in, but we just couldn't get in for that additional day because it was too busy. Had he not have said anything and just missed the day, right, we could have fallen miles behind. So communication and transparency is always the most important thing.
Yeah. I think you need to rely on your coach in the sense that your coach knows the underlying principles that need to be executed as a priority.
Yeah.
And also they have the overarching plan in their head. Sure, they tell you as much information as possible, but they're the ones who are digesting it all and figuring out behind the scenes, okay, that means this, I need to do this, maybe eventually if this happens, that happens. So you, as an athlete, you can't expect to know that level of detail. So you can't be guessing and
that's what you pay us for. So
you can't be guessing, is this too structured? Am I not being structured enough? Am I making excuses if I don't do exactly what my coach says? Tell them and they'll be like, actually,
totally
if
fine.
that's not sustainable, that's fine because we can actually do it this way instead of get the same result.
Sometimes I'll do a check-in for someone in prep, like Kristen, who's the figure pro. You know, she runs Fernwood, right? And she was doing heaps of classes and she's a mum. So I wanted to bump her cardio, but I sent her a message like, call me for check-in. I'm not going to send you a video because I wasn't sure whether she could actually fit this session in anywhere.
Yeah.
Because I knew how busy her schedule was. So I was like, how are we going to make this work? Should we add a little bit extra to each one, or are we going to add in the additional one? Because I'm no point me sending you a video on a plan telling you to do something that you logistically can't fucking do.
Yeah. And that's why it's important to know your athlete's routine schedule.
Yeah.
Because then you know that, like, for instance, I'm just going to up their steps. What if they can't do that every day, but on a Sunday, they can do an extra cardio session? Okay, cool. We'll do that instead of upping it. Like, you got to know what they can and can't do and where their limits are. I know I had an athlete up their steps and they're like, I'm now at my limit. like based on
Yeah, I don't have time to do it.
yeah,
Here.
and it's not much. It's like 12K. Like it's not a lot of steps. Might be a lot for some people, but they're like, based on the fact that I get up at this time, I train, I go to work until this time, I get home, I meal prep, I and I got to get steps in. I'm now at the point where if I go anymore, I'm not going to get to sleep in time.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
Okay. Good to know.
Good to know. Yeah.
Yeah. But I know maybe on a rest day on a weekend you're not working,
I'm
so
going to push a bit harder.
you could do it more then. Yeah.
Without a doubt.
Maybe we'll end on this one.
I reckon which would be good for everyone. The little bro Robbie will walk in any second. We should get him to sit on the case because he's the king.
You might be able to answer this one better than I do. How do you coach couples where one is all in and the other is half in, but still wants the same result? Have you ever coached couples?
We've got a couple of couples right now.
Oh, you do?
But
I've only
they're
one, I think.
Yeah, like I got Taylor and Bailey.
Oh yeah,
but
they're both all in.
Yeah, like Taylor's just like a freight train.
Yeah.
Like when it comes to like execution and adherence, and Bailey's transformed 30 kilos in the last 18 months. Like,
yeah, okay.
So, not a good example.
I haven't got a scenario.
Yeah, I have had it, but one was competing, one was just lifestyle.
Okay.
So you can't expect them to be at the same level. I mean, if they're both wanting to be competitors and one's all in, that's a red flag.
That's a bit hard.
Really hard.
Would you?
Because that'll start to create tension when one's holding the other accountable to their effort, and there might start to be a little bit of home tension.
Would you?
It's like, why are you calling me out on it?
Would you ever tell the partner, hey, your other half is not doing this, not doing that, or would you just try to isolate them as much as possible?
No, I wouldn't do that unless I felt like that was the only option left.
Yeah, left. Yeah.
I'd try and pick it out and deal with it in isolation and not needs, because that's almost like blackmail. It is, but I'm not saying I wouldn't do it.
If you really
needed it,
if you thought it would help. Yeah, if you thought it would help. Yeah.
Like if I felt like it was the last resort, like, and then vice versa, like, would you say, hey, your partner thinks you're not doing enough, man, and I agree with her. Like, you need to be putting. Would you use it as a? Again, probably not, but
probably not. Last resort. Yeah, last resort. Awesome. All right, we'll leave it there.
Good at, man. Good at. Next one will be in a cinema room. Is there a way we could do it outside? Because like, how good would it be if the next party was outside? On the basketball court on the roof?
It's as long as it's not windy.
That's how cool would that be?
Very cool. All right.
Instead of that,
I'll see what I can try. See what we can try to do. As long as it's not windy and you can't hear background noise.
Yeah.
Oh, cool.
Thanks, everyone. Sorry about the deep mental health episode, but hey, hopefully it helps somebody.
Yeah, if you enjoyed it, let us know.
Yeah, I'd love to hear from you.
Thanks, guys.
Take care.